All right, good morning class. Now that I have all your attention, I want you guys to come and gather at the carpet. Alrighty. Now, can anyone tell me what a clock is? What is it used for? That's right, a clock is used to tell time. We have different types of clocks. Does anyone know the two different types of clocks? We have analog clocks, which is what we're going to be working with today, and we have digital clocks. Digital clocks are like if your parents have an alarm clock and it just tells you the numbers, or on your phone or anything like that. That is a digital clock, but an analog clock is what we're going to be working with today, and it's where you're going to have to learn how to tell time using the numbers around here on the clock. Alrighty. So today we're going to be, if you see on here, we have some different exercises around the clock because we're going to be incorporating physical activity exercises into our lesson of learning how to tell time. All right, so I want everybody to pay close attention to me. I want you to raise your hand if you have any questions. I want you to make sure that you're being respectful to your other classmates, and while they're performing their exercises, which I'm going to talk to you about later. And I want you guys to make sure that you're keeping your volumes at a low. All right. So on this clock, like I said, we have an analog clock. So I'm going to just draw, let's see. So on this clock, obviously we have these numbers, right? But we have these two lines. Does anyone know what these lines are called? These two lines are called hands, and they're not like our hands. They look just like lines, but they're called hands, and one of them is significantly shorter than the other hand, and that's for a reason. That's how you're going to be able to tell time, right? All right, so one hand is shorter, and the shorter hand is always going to point to the hour. That's why it's called the hour hand. The longer hand is called the minute hand because it's always going to point to the minute, okay? So today we're only going to be focusing on telling time by the hour and the half hour. When you guys get into upper grades, then you'll be learning about all the other different times, but for right now, we're just learning strictly the hour and the half hour. Alrighty. So, like I said earlier, we have this writing, all these exercises across the clock. So I know that you guys are familiar with these exercises because I know you do them in PE class every time you go there. So right now we're just going to briefly go over them just to make sure that you guys are all familiar and you know how to do them. And if you don't, then make sure you raise your hand and you let me know, and I will happily show you. So for our 12, we have stretch for 12 seconds. Our 1, a lap around the gym. 2, jumping jacks. 3 lunges. 4 ski jumps. 5 push-ups. 6 squats. 7 high knees. 8 crab walks. 9 mountain climbers. 10 wall push-ups. 11 sit-ups, and 12, like we said, stretch for 12 seconds. So does anyone have any questions on those? No? Okay. All right. So, like we said before, we have an hour hand and a minute hand. Can anyone tell me which one? Do you remember which one the shorter one is? The shorter one is the hour hand, and it's always going to point to the hour. Okay? So if I have this time, this shorter hand, like I said, the hour hand, is pointing to that 1. This indicates it's our minute hand. It indicates 0 minutes. We'll get into the minutes in just a little bit. But for right now, we're focusing on the hour. So it's pointing to that 1. So that means that it is 1 o'clock. If we're looking at this clock and it's looking like this, it's 1 o'clock. Alrighty. So same thing. Let's see. This one. For doing this one is pointing the shorter hand, like I said. Shorter hand's the hour hand, so it's pointing to the hour. So it's 4 o'clock. All right, good job. Alrighty, so now we're going to be incorporating the minutes. So let's see, got a shorter hand and a longer hand. So before we do this, looking at this, you will probably look and see, the shorter hand's pointing to the 3, so it's 3 something, right? We've got to figure out our minutes. Well, if you're looking at it, you might say, that looks like 6, but you wouldn't say it's 6 o'clock, would you? That doesn't make any sense, does it? No, and I'll tell you why. Because all of these numbers, they count by 5s on a clock. And you guys know how to count by 5, right? Right. So if you count with me, we're going to start with 5 and starting with 1. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So all of these numbers right here, they go by 5s on a clock, okay? So like we said before, this shorter hand's pointing to this 3, which is the hour. But the minutes is pointing to that 6. So if we go back to what we were just looking at, or talking about with the 5s, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it must be 3:30. All right. Alrighty. So now I'm going to show you one. And I'm going to model the exercise. Let's see. So if I got on here. Okay. So where's my shorthand? My shorthand is pointing to, remember it's the hour, it's pointing to 2. So our 2 is going to be 2 something, right? Is 2 something? Is it 2 o'clock? No. It's pointing to that 6 again. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It is 2:30. So with our exercises, I'm going to model to you. Since we're pointing at this 2, that means 2 jumping jacks, and 6, that's a 6 squats. So for this one, like I want you guys to do, we're going to be doing 2 jumping jacks, okay? And then we're going to be doing 6 squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So you guys know how to do that. So because it was 2:30, we did the exercise 2 jumping jacks and 6 squats. All right. Alrighty. So now I want you guys to get a little bit of practice in. So I'm gonna get you guys in groups of partners, the ones we already talked about. So you guys can go ahead and get in those. Alrighty. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a time on this clock. And remember, what is this called? Analog clock. Good job. I'm going to place a time on this analog clock. And you and your partner are going to work together and tell me what time it is. And if you guys get it right, you guys are going to perform that exercise, okay? All right, so first one. Group 1. What time is it? It is 8 o'clock. Good job. So that means you guys are going to be stretching for 12 seconds and doing 8 crab walks. All right. Good job. Good job, guys. Alrighty. Group 2. Let's see. Can you guys tell me? Remember where that shorthand is? Point to that hour. That minute hand pointing, or the longer hand pointing to the minute. All right, it is 7:30. Good job, guys. So you guys are going to be doing 7 high knees and 6 squats. Alrighty, good job, guys. You guys are doing great. All right, so now I want all of you guys to form me a line. And I want what we're going to be doing. You guys are going to be getting points, okay? But you guys are going to listen closely, listen to the directions. Make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you got your listening ears on, okay? So what I'm going to want you guys to do is you guys are going to form a line, and one by one, I'm going to show you a time on the clock. And for each one of y'all are going to look at the time, and that one student is going to tell me what time it is, right? So when they tell me what time it is, if they get it right, then they're going to do the exercise that is placed on the clock around here. So say like we just did, say it's 2:30, then you're going to be telling me that it's 2:30, and then you're going to be doing 2 jumping jacks and 6 squats. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing. Does anyone have any questions on what we're doing? Everyone's good? All right, good job. All right, so, all right. Now that we've finished that, I want you guys to come back and all gather on the carpet. All right, so what did we learn about today? We learned how to tell time on what? An analog clock. Analog clock, that's right. And what are the 2 lines called on the analog clock? The hands. And the shorter one is the hour hand, and the longer one is the minute hand. All right, good job. So now I want you guys to turn and tell a neighbor what your favorite exercise to do was today. That you did today. All right, good job. So now I'm going to give you guys all a sticky note, and you guys are going to write on that sticky note the last time that I tell you. So no one say it out loud, no one say it out loud. All right, but this time right here, you guys are going to use those sticky notes. You're going to write down what time it is on this clock, and then you're going to hand it to me for your ticket out the door. All right. Good job, everybody.